when, at the beginning of this year, so January 2024, we posted the updates from the IRS and how they're talking about, there are certain criteria that does not qualify or does not need to be filed with the IRS. They were talking about crypto, but actually they were talking about money, because we already know that fiat is tied to CBDCs in the background because of the QSFS. And if you read through the description of the post that I made, it walked you through, because I can't remember all the details right now, but it walked you through why you don't have to pay taxes. But that only works for people who pay attention to the news and then follow-ups and does the research on it. So everybody else will be paying for something they don't need to do, even though it's not even a real tax. But they'll be scared into doing it. And if you do the research, you're exempt from it. Because if they try to bring you to court as an example, you can show them their own IRS document, and you'll be able to know how to argue your way out of it too. So Ben was like, that's awesome, you guys have figured it out. Let's see when everyone else can figure it out. And then later on, they'll make the formal public announcements.
Right. And think about it. It's a voluntary system. I mean, there's so much documentation. Even people from the IRS, including the commissioner, have said it openly that it is a voluntary system. But think of it this way. What is the IRS? The IRS is the Federal Reserve's collector. That's what they're there, right? So we know the Federal Reserve has been merged into the Treasury. So you don't need a collector anymore because they're no longer an independent entity who's taking all their money away from us and devaluing our currency and making monetary policy so that our lives become more difficult. So if there's no Federal Reserve, then there's really no IRS per se, because they're the collection people. So that's.
Can you tell that to my wife, please?
Just say the guy Nick from QSI said that you don't have to pay taxes. But seriously, again, these organizations were all developed for the cabal to take money away from people. So we know what's happening with all the changes. So the organizations are not necessary, and it was voluntary to begin with, but people are just scared not to pay their taxes because we've seen them come afterwards with bully tactics and threatening and all that stuff. But it's going to be it's an institution that is flaccid. Okay?